Yesterday we had a meeting, English meeting, and they said there will be a literature quiz. Okay, but only from 5 questions, not more than that. Yani, not a big one. Okay. It will be on the first chapter.
What are the skills?
Yes.
What are the skills that we're being quizzed in?
Chapter 1, and the story of chapter 1 too.
Like
the story, the skills, everything related to chapter 1.
So regarding the issue of Marco Polo, like we're not disregarding it.
The first one, the first chapter, not the second chapter, because second chapter is Marco Polo too.
So there are comprehension questions of Marco Polo?
First chapter, Yelayan.
Okay, thank you, man.
Welcome, dear.
Questions, are they going to be about?
I will see. But I mean that we have literature on the first chapter.
But Miss, can
Okay.
we just check from the multiple choice questions, because if they are the comprehension, so you need, like, we have different answers.
I'll see, dear. Don't worry.
Miss, it's going to be unseen, right? It won't be the excerpt that we took.
We have comprehension unseen and literature.
Ah, we have 2. Ah, okay.
It's okay, dear. Okay, so now let's start. Today we take literature. Okay, before I start, do you have any other questions?
So Miss, they will be questions about Marco Polo.
Yes. Okay, so I'll share. Yes, dear?
And it is next week, literature, connection, grammar, and vocab.
Yes, literature, connection, comprehension, grammar, and vocab. Here, girls, I'll share my PowerPoint now with you. Here. Let me just... You see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Miss, which page?
38. We are 32, girls. Normally, we are 36, right?
Right, 35.
35?
Yes. Yeah. With you, 36.
Hmm?
With you, 36. 35.
Oh. Okay. So, this chapter will take the travels of Ibn Battuta. Have you ever heard about Ibn Battuta, girls?
Yes.
Yes. Do we have anyone from Morocco in our class? Huh? No Morocco? Okay. So, before we go to the chapter, girls, are you with me?
Yes.
Before we go to the chapter, we have to meet some, as he writes for you in the book, academic vocabulary. Okay, academic vocabulary. What is academic? It means it's related to the topic, it means related to the literature. So the first thing is character. Wants you to meet. Where do you find it? Where do I find the teacher? In page 38 in this blue box.
So we're not going to solve 36 and 37?
Yes, but please remind me, we have to start to solve the first, now the for that first chapter, connect to testing, the first chapter, okay?
Miss, were they a homework? 36
yes,
and 37?
they were homeworks.
They were?
I didn't
yes.
know that it wasn't written on the wiki plan.
Connect to testing?
You didn't say as well.
Okay, but you know what? Every time you have to solve, yes, Diego, you have to solve connect to testing.
Should I send it to you or just like solve it?
Solve it because we discuss it in the class, okay?
Teacher page what?
Send it.
Yes, can I start there?
I mean,
38.
there's no need to send it, right?
I'll tell you, Sarah, I'll tell you.
Okay. Thank you,
So, welcome dear. The academic vocabulary, I start with the character. Do you know, can you tell me what is a character, girls?
The creature and the story.
People.
Yeah, the people in the story. But must be people?
And can
Could be, yes, could be animals, could be figures. Okay, what do I do with these characters? I use them. I use them to create a literary work. Okay? Do you see me?
Yes, miss.
Where are you? Asleep? Grade 10.
Yes, miss.
With me here?
Yes.
Natalie's here, girls. Natalie?
Yes, miss.
Yes, now you know, great that you entered, Natalie. Note you're here, Ghada?
Yes, I'm here, miss.
Okay. Note?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, character is any person, animal, figure, anything that represents a literary work. Then we move to textual evidence. And again, textual evidence is important. Why, teacher, textual evidence is important? This is the main skill you have to learn in literature. How, teacher? Because textual evidence, read ya Ghada.
It's another way of saying evidence from the text. In other words, you use quotes from the text you are reading in order to prove what your response is to it.
So, when you read a passage, okay, you know the science, the book of science. Book of science is a passage, right? You have many passages, right or not, girls? And then your teacher asks you about a question in the text. What do? You go in the text and you highlight it or get it out and you answer with it, right or not?
Yes.
This is what happens, right?
Right.
The same in literature. I give you a passage and then I ask a question. The answer will not be from your mind. Your mind will help you find out the answer. So you go back to the text, you go back to the text and you search for the statements that support your ideas. So you look up for what? You look up for facts to support your ideas, examples to support your ideas, data like numbers, statistics, and other details that support your conclusion. So I will not get the answer from my mind, teacher. You will get the answer from your mind, but you will support it from the text. Okay, so your mind has to work too. Hello?
Yes, miss.
So here I found evidence in the text to support thinking. You understand what's textual evidence?
Yes.
Yes.
Who can tell me what is the meaning of evidence, Rima? What's the meaning of evidence, Rima?
It's any type of information to back up your statement.
Yes, to back up my statement. Like what? Where do we use the evidence most?
In the body.
Yes, in which cases? In law cases, girls. When someone kills another one, when there is a murder scene and the FBI comes, they enter, they try to get out evidences from the room to help them figure out who is the killer. Okay?
Yes.
Proof. Okay. We took character, textual evidence, make like check mark. Then we take the theme. When we were young, we learned that each story or each collection of story has a what? A theme. And the theme is what? What the author trying to teach me? Why does he want to tell me? What is the topic about? And the theme is, like in this picture, is the basement for the story. So I do not think of a story before I think of the theme, because the theme is the main message. Theme is the main message. Are you with me? In order to give this theme, in order to the reader wants to give me the theme, gives me the message, he has to create a story and plot. But the theme is the main basic. Okay? In the picture, girls, why the theme is drawn underwater and story and plot above water? Who can think of this and tell me?
Because
who wants to answer? Tell me your name. I can see your names on the right side, huh?
Layan.
Layan, dear. Why theme is underwater?
Because it's hidden. It's not straightforward. We read
Excellent. Excellent. It's hidden. The author will not come to me and he starts, I will tell you a story about hope. I will tell you a story about the importance of family. No. What is he going to do? He will give me the message that he wants to give me in a hidden way. And we agreed before, what's the only way the author can give me a message? Through his words. So he uses his words to deliver me the message, but he will not say it directly. Lina Ammar, are you here? Lina Ammar. Lina Ammar. Okay. Girls, the one who will not respond me will be absent. Theme is the message, is not said correctly, directly. I understand it from reading. The theme could be about loneliness, anger, deference, loyalty, hope, friendship. Okay?
Yes.
I will, there is a mic with a voice of echo. I'll just mute it, please. If you want to talk, unmute yourself. Okay? I have to Lean here. So Lean is here. Why she's not answer me? Rama is here. Rama? Ah, yes, Rama's here. Yes, Asma, Jana.
Miss, there are some problems with Maya's website.
Maya?
She cannot enter the English session. I don't know. Every session she said she was able to enter them, but for the English she couldn't.
She has to contact them, dear.
I think yes, she didn't make the account yet. I tell. Okay, thank you, Miss.
Welcome, dear. Okay, we go back to our PowerPoint. After the theme, so we took character, textual evidence, theme. We take narrative. Narrative is what, girls? A narrative is the story that you write or you tell. Because narrative story. Hello?
Miss, your voice
Hello?
was lagging. It wasn't very clear.
Wait a minute. I'll check the internet. I'll check the internet. Now, girls. Hello?
Yes, Mrs.
Yes,
Betty.
yes,
Yes,
Oh.
miss.
Narrative. Narrative is a story that you write or you tell to someone. Okay. Zena, are you here? Zena, read ya, Zena. زينة.
مس بتقلك لين انه معلق عندها وما عم تقدر تدخل، مع ميك بس.
لين. لين.
لين عمار، يس.
But she is here with us in the session. She went out.
What?
Okay. زين, read يا زين. زينة. زينة.
I read from here.
Yes, from this slide in front of you.
A narrative is a story that you write or tell to someone, usually in great detail. A narrative can be a work of poetry or prose, or even song, theater, or dance. Often a narrative is meant to include the whole story. A summary will give a few key details, and then the narrative will delve into the details. I hate to interrupt your narrative is a polite way of stopping someone in the middle of a story. The origin of this noun is the Latin adjective.
Okay. Yes, now he says to you the original pronunciation of why from the word narrative came from the Latin language. Yes.
It is
Continue.
related to our English verb now. No.
Okay. No. So the narrative is the story that you write or you tell to someone. Okay? Remember when you were asked to write the narrative essay?
Yes.
Dialogue. Dialogue is what you note. Read.
Me, MS.
Note.
Dialogue can include when a character speaks out loud to an animal, an animation object, or him or herself. Dialogue can be used to explain something to the reader and audience.
Dialogue happens between the two characters, whether they are people, whether they are objects, whether they are animals. Okay? Dialogue is when two talk together between two characters. Okay? Done with the dialogue. Let's go to frame story. And frame story, this is the first time you know about the frame story. Frame story is when I have a story within a story. Oh, how, teacher? So, girls, I will tell you a story about a daughter, a king, a princess who couldn't sleep at all. Then her father, the king, okay, declared that there will be $1 million present for the one who can help his daughter to sleep. So a doctor came, or a wise man came from the village, and he went to her and he started stories to make her sleep. So he will tell her a story inside the story. So this is frame story. Do you know 1000 Nights and Nights?
yes.
Which is in Arabic Alf Layla wa Layla, because it's originally an Arabic book, or Indian?
Yes.
Arabic, yeah.
I think Arabic. Yesterday.
Arabic, yes. Do you know it? It's a very famous book. It is about a story, a big story with the stories inside, right?
Yes. Miss,
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yes.
Has not
Yes, dear.
nothing.
What?
Miss-
You told you Miss, and you took it yesterday in the social.
Yes.
Ah, great. So we're walking together, Teacher Anna and I.
Yes.
Maya
Yes?
said she made an account, but I don't know why she couldn't. Why she's like.
Did she
could not-
contact Mrs. Inam?
Yes, yes, and also she made an account. She entered the other classes, but she doesn't know why it's not working with the English.
طب wait a minute, I will contact the administration. I sent to the coordinator and she will see.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you so much.
I قلت لها that she enters all the class. I said.
Oh, no, she couldn't. She could only enter the physics.
Only physics?
Yes.
I sent. So, frame story is a story within a story. Okay, here, like this. So we can look at this frame narrative here. The old rose, I have a story about one old rose. It means when Rose grows up, and inside it, when she was a young, and she tells us a story about herself when she was young. So in the main narrative, in the main frame, I'll have characters. In the story inside, I'll have another characters. Have you watched Titanic?
Yes.
So Titanic was about what? People or explorers and scientists who went to explore a sank ship. This is the main story, the main frame. Inside it, the story of Rose and Jack. Grade 10.
Yes, yes, okay, good. We are with you.
Yes.
The last one is oral tradition. Oral tradition. What's oral tradition? What's oral?
It's not written. You can say it by your mouth.
Yes. And what's tradition? Tradition is something you inherit. Something you inherit from your ancestors. Tradition. In our family, tradition, for example, that we have to eat liver in Eid in the morning. Whether it's the Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha. For example, this is tradition. So we only do it in our family. Okay?
Yeah.
So read it, Sarah.
The oral tradition in literature. Myth, legends, fables, and folktales are fables. I'm sorry, and folktales are all a part of our folklore. That's stories that originated long before reading and writing began. They survived by being handed down from generation to generation. Taken together, these stories make up what is known as the oral tradition in literature. All cultures have their own myth, legends, fables, and folktales.
Yes. When I was young, my grandpa used to sit me down next to him and he tells me stories about Goha. Okay. Do you know who is Goha?
I think I heard about
Yes, the one with the donkey, I guess.
Yes, the one with the
Yes, I know.
donkey. Yes, he was a very wise man. Goha was a very wise man. Okay, he was a very wise man. Wait. He was a very wise man. He tells you stories with the wisdom inside. There is always a wisdom behind Goha's situations, but in a funny way. like the story when he carries the donkey. So people say, when he was on the donkey, people said, "Look at him." Look, for those who don't know Goha girls, there was a man who was walking next to his on his donkey. So people passing by him, he said, "Oh, look at him! He is a heavy man. He has no mercy in his heart. He rides his donkey and blah blah blah." So he said, "Oh, okay, I will not be on him. I will walk next to the donkey." And then while he was walking by, he met people who said to him, "Oh, are you useless? You buy a donkey and you walk next to it. You have to ride it. Why you walk next to it?" Anyway, so and I think he then rode it. So people said, "Why are you riding? You're too heavy. Can't you do anything by yourself? Why you ride your donkey?" So what did he decide at the end? So he carried the donkey on his shoulders and he walked. Okay, so the main message here is about what? To not listen to what people want to say about you, because everyone has a different opinion, everyone has different experiences in life, so don't let others judge you. So these are the kind of stories that Goha tells. So when I was young, my grandpa used to tell me stories about Goha and his wisdom and this. So what about you? What is
My mom bought me a
traditional?
book
Yeah.
of a collection of stories when I was younger.
Your mom used to tell you what?
I have a collection of his books when I'm like I still have them. My mom got them when I was
Great.
younger.
Great. Goha for Goha?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else, girls? Did your grandpa or
Me when
grandma
I
used to, huh?
No, me when I was young, my mother would take me and my sister and sit on a laptop, and there was a kind of series. It was about stories, and you should learn from them things. We always sat together and watched them together, and she'd always ask us, "What did you learn after finishing this story?"
Great. Great idea. Great. Tell me about this site. Maybe I give it to Julia.
I'll ask my sister about the name. It was
Okay.
a cartoon series, I think.
What else, girls? What's a story that grandpa tell you? I'll tell you another story that grandma used to tell me. When I grew up, she told me, "Listen, Nada, there was a boy in his 18s. I was 18 at that time. And then when he was living in the village, and then he said to his father, I want to go to continue my study in the country." So his father, wait a minute, I'll charge. So his father said to him, "Okay." He said to him, "Okay, son, I'll give you an advice. If a piece of advice, if you want to go to a nightclub, go after the mid of the night. Okay, go after mid of the night. Don't go before it." So he kept asking himself why his father says that to him. In Arabic, it sounds more powerful, the story, because the usage of the words, that's why it's a traditional story, because it's said in your language. But this is a story that I always remember my grandma with. So she says that his father said to him, if you want to go to any place, go after the middle of the night. And he wonders, why his father wants him to go to the club after the middle of the night. So one day he was fed up, he was dull, he was bored, and he decided to go to a nightclub. But he said, "Okay, I will listen to my father's words. I will go after the middle of the night." And then when he went there after the middle of the night, he saw the end of the party, the end of it. So he saw the result. So people who were drinking at the beginning of the party and they were having fun and they were enjoying time, they are vomiting in the bathrooms now, the minute he went there. Okay? Girls who were dancing and they were so pretty and they were not wearing respected clothes, and their makeups were, when your makeup for a long time, and then the what on your face, like the kahl comes
Yes,
out
yes,
on
yes.
your cheeks and this. when someone wears heavy makeup and it melts on her face. So it was at the end of the party. So these pretty faces were not as pretty as at the beginning of the party. Okay, and those who entered the party and they went to gamble with their money, okay, they entered with lots of money, and at the end of the party they are with no money. So when he went there at the end of the party and he saw the result of the party, of course I'm talking about a bad party, not a good party that you go and hang out with your friends. So he understood the message his father wants to tell him, that if you drink, the result is not good. You will vomit all day long, all night long. If you gamble, you will lose your money. If you fall in love with a there in this place, she is not a real pretty girl. You understand it?
Yes.
Yes. So this is a traditional story from my grandma. You have to think, or call your grandma, tell her to tell you a story, traditional story. What do you think?
About your
I
story.
think you know.
No, your stories. You have to get stories from your grandparents.
I think Miss
Okay.
everyone knows the story of the boy who kept lying to the village.
Ah,
Telling them
yes, of course.
yes.
Yeah.
My
Yes,
grandma
it's
told
very
it when
important.
I lied. When I was
Yeah.
young, I
So
lied to
this
her. She told.
story is told from generation by generation. So we don't know the main author for this story, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like Cinderella, we never know the main author for Cinderella, by the way. We have versions, but we don't know the main story.
Ah, yes. You don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so oral tradition, and then we move to Ibn Battuta. So here in page 38, Dana Wael, read ya Dana in 38. I'll mute you girls because there's a please. Yeah. No, there is a mic. Please mute
This
yourselves, girls.
slide.
And Dana Wael, read 38 ya Dana. Dana, unmute yourself and talk. Huh? Yes.
Oh, okay. The oral tradition in literature. Myths, legends, fables, and folk tales are all a part of our
In
folklore.
38
That
here,
is
38. Not the PowerPoint, 38.
analyzing and comparing themes.
Yes.
Okay.
Dana?
I'm confused. Do I read the question?
38, yes. From analyzing and comparing theme.
Okay, I'm sorry. Preview concepts. In what way does good fortune open the way for misfortune? Can the opposite be true? Can misfortune open the way for good fortune?
Good.
Do I read that?
Can good fortune or misfortune open the way for good fortune? What does it mean, teacher? What is misfortune and what's good fortune? So girls, before we continue, we can stop here and continue next session, okay? Take 5 minutes and come.
Okay.
Bye, Miss.
Okay, miss.
Bye,
Bye,
girls.
Miss.
Bye.